Welcome to Bloodbath TV. Today we're checking out the original Harley Quinn, Tank Girl.
Suck on this, dirtbag!
Based on the comic book series of the same name from Dark Horse, Tank Girl is basically Harley Quinn before Harley Quinn even existed.
That cut looks painful.
I like pain.
She's a badass chick that walks the walk. She's got the right amount of sex appeal while making sure she puts creepy dudes in their place and eventually bangs some kangaroo guy.
Is it true what they say about guys with big shoes?
Yeah. In the mid-90s, it was all about finding relatively unknown comic book heroes and making really weird movies like Barbed Wire and Tank Girl. Lori Petty, most people would probably know her from Orange is the New Black as Lolly.
Or A League of Their Own.
We've got Naomi Watts.
You take the tank.
Are you sure?
Malcolm McDowell.
I completely forgot Malcolm McDowell was in this film, and I've seen him at conventions. I always try to get the most obscure autograph, and I am mad at myself for not getting him to sign Tank Girl.
There are 3 million liters of water underneath the blue dunes, and you will retrieve it.
To quickly break down this movie, we're in 2033. The world is run out of water. Everybody's living in a desert. It hasn't rained in ages. Malcolm McDowell runs Water and Power.
Straight to the point. They got
Straight
water,
to the
they got
point.
power.
Water is life. Water is power.
So he's trying to figure out how he can harvest as much water as possible, not only from the ground, but he also has devices that can turn blood into water. And then Tank Girl's kind of in her own world. She has a little village, I guess, kind of like a clubhouse, where she lives there with a bunch of people, and they are also mining water.
They're stealing it from WP.
And they're pissed. So they're like, well, we need to hunt down these people and kill them all. And then they realize that there is potential in Becky here. After torturing her for a while, they're like, hey, no, you can help us find out these other people that also know of some water, which are the Kangaroo Ripper guys. They're called Rippers.
The Ripperoos.
The Ripperoos.
They looked absolutely amazing, but the best part of them is who was playing the Kangaroos.
You fail, you die.
Yeah, but first, you gotta strip.
My favorite was certainly Ice-T. He's got the bandana, so you know he's the most gangster kangaroo there is.
Who'd you used to be?
A cop.
Figures.
I mean, my favorite was Reggie Cathy, but that's only because of my love for Pootie Tang and Dirty D.
Low down and dirty, boy, you know what I'm about.
He was our leader of the Roos and just playing that saxophone and grooving like a poet.
I don't know why that was like worked in. No, actually I do. I looked up the IMDb trivia and he brought a saxophone to his audition, and that's the reason why that kangaroo played the saxophone. I love the way that they all looked. Their makeup was great. I just thought the Rippers were so cool, and they're jumping around, and they even have helmets.
Yeah, they look like the Predator.
Yeah, we're much better in the dark, like Count Chocula.
Dracula, fool.
Their dance was pretty funky. I liked our nerdy Ripper with his bow tie.
I think that was Doug Jones. And Naomi Watts as Jet Girl, I thought she was a great companion.
So listen to me, you spam sucker. Either you get off your butt and clear us for landing, or I'm gonna fly this rocket right up your socket.
Lori Petty absolutely killed it as Tank Girl. I was a fan of the Tank Girl comics at the time. I hadn't seen this movie probably since it came out. Like, I loved it back then because there was sexy stuff. There was music numbers with sexy girls in it. Tank Girl herself was very sexy.
We had the boob room.
Yeah, there's the boob room where you get changed.
Lock up your sons.
Just the way that Lori Petty delivered all of her lines, like, she's just so fun.
I'm gonna hit you so hard, your children will be born bruised. Get up! Pal!
I guess she was really relatable, especially with like watching this as a kid, because she acts like a child almost. Like a sexy, weird, violent child.
We grew up watching this, and then there's a whole generation that's growing up watching Harley Quinn. Could you imagine if those people were to be introduced to Tank Girl?
Which of you gorgeous guys would like an oil change,
What are you waiting for?
I'm gonna need a microscope and tweezers. It's like a...
You could definitely see she's very much like Harley Quinn in how she moves, how she interacts, how she fights.
Drop something?
Ah, shit.
It's very, very close.
Editor Jay here. I just wanted to let you know while I was looking up pictures of Tank Girl and stuff while I'm making this video, Margot Robbie is set to play Tank Girl in the upcoming reboot. It's currently put on hold, but it's supposed to go into production in 2022 sometime.
You want to torture me? Spank me? Lick me? Do it. But if this poetry shit continues, just shoot me now, please.
Shout out to Iggy Pop real quick. I don't know why he was in this, but why not?
Do you want me to tell your mother how naughty you've been?
I think we glanced over the idea that there was a dance number in this movie. This wasn't like a one-off gag either. Like, this went the distance with a whole cast of guys in robes, girls doing the can-can. Crazy dance number. Like, Tank Girl is like dancing with the enemies. If you're watching movies at this time, you think, oh yeah, it's like the Goombas in the elevator at Super Mario. Not even close. This is like way cooler and way more over the top for a music number.
I think that can be said about this whole movie. Like, it's very over the top. We've already talked about the crazy, like, gangster kangaroo predator guys, but all of the sets and just like the way that everything is done is so good. It feels like it was almost made to be not only a comic book movie, but also a way to sell a shit ton of toys to kids, but they realize, wait a second, this is too edgy for kids. We can't market this. So tell me how the fuck we got Toxic Crusaders.
It's Toxie, the trendy yet hideously deformed leader of the Toxic Crusaders. Hideously deformed action figures and toxic waste, each sold separately from Playmates.
The whole layout and the atmosphere of this place was literally the exact opposite of Waterworld. I found that to be funny.
In this place they know only as Waterworld.
I think the thing that makes me mad the most is we didn't get enough holographic robot arm Malcolm McDowell at the end. He was the Dr. Claw. He was just trying to capture his gadget. I wanted more Malcolm McDowell fighting Tank Girl.
I would also say the same is true with Jet Girl. I wish that Jet had a bigger part in the finale. She's kind of pushed aside while Tank Girl deals with Malcolm. It's really just like her just feeding a bunch of like Coke cans into this cannon or beers and using her tank to knock over a bucket above Malcolm's head. I feel like Jet needed to come in there and do something.
She had her own issue. She had to go deal with John Travolta because Travolta was trying to sleep with her throughout the entire film to lead us to that one line at the end where it was a nice play on words.
Fuck me.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't want to.
Taking a few steps back, I think they tried to get Travolta for this film, but he was too busy either doing Face Off or Broken Arrow or one of those films around that time.
I miss Broken Arrow. That was a good one, man.
Like, the guy looks exactly like him.
And all I'm asking for is just a little bit in return.
Quit picking on my girlfriend.
For a movie based on a comic book, they utilized the comic effect. They had some real fun with it. We actually had like animated transitions with voiceovers.
Not only does it help to just like move things along, but you can get a lot done with only like a handful of panels in a few seconds as opposed to, oh, we need to blow a ton of money to create what we just described in this little like comic book. And whether they were made for the actual movie itself or referencing the original comics that it's based on, it just makes you remember that, oh yeah, this is why things are crazy. This is why if she's in a freezer for half an hour, why her eyes are now blue and her teeth are all black, because it's a comic book. There's tons of plot holes. She has 18 wardrobe changes because you have to realize that this is based on a comic and comics don't need to make sense.
If this wasn't a comic book and they didn't have these things, it would be a dislike. Why is this girl all over the place? How is she getting in and meeting all of these people? Like, she just nonchalantly walks through everywhere.
Like she says.
Those guys will mangle you.
Shit. They're men.
If I saw two babes walk in, they're like, hey, we're taking pictures for a calendar.
We are doing a Men of Water and Power calendar.
Yeah, I'd probably pose. I'll take the January slot, that's fine.
You mean we get to be calendar guys?
No one's ever gonna see me because you don't buy calendars in January. You usually get them cheaper when it's March. So like, they'll just skip over me, but at least I had the opportunity. Anyway, back to the Kangaroo Crazy Tank Girl movie. Fun time. Really loved it. Loved all the explosions. I really enjoyed, like I said, Lori Petty as Tank Girl. So damn good. This is a big recommendation from me because I really enjoyed myself. It gets a little dry at times, no pun intended, but the sets, the kangaroos, they really captured exactly what the comic book was set out to do. So I'm gonna give this 4.5 slammin' salmons out of 5.
This was a film I absolutely adored as a kid. Growing up, the film is much slower than I thought. I just really wanted the Rippers, and I remember them being more of an important part of this film. And that's not the case, but it was still a great film. It's a fun comic book one. It's a wild ride. So that being said, I give this film 3.5 awesome James Hong cameos out of 5.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't and you do want to check it out, links are in the description. And also subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with everything here on Bloodbath TV. Slurring a little bit, kind of drunk.
I say we kill him.
I say we hump him.
I say we get crumpets and tea.
Tasty. Crumpets and tea. All in favor of crumpets and tea, say aye.
Aye.